Hi. All I can do at this point is take a deep breath, sigh, and say how glad I am to be here. And I apologize. I think I'm a little bit late. Oh, yeah, a minute late. But anyway, Deanna is in her happy place working on a quilt. And Deb, hello from sunny and warm Glendale, Arizona. Charlene's in Colorado. Carla's in a lovely warm day in Oklahoma City. Quilting on hold, waiting to get a new ruler foot. Oh, the old one broke. I'm so sorry, Carla. Joyce is here from Mesa, also a warm climate. And Jan says, good evening. I am ready to start a new week of ruler know-hows to make me a better quilter. I need to find the time to put this knowledge to work. Jan, you know what? I was sitting in my sewing room today and looking around and feeling just a tad bit overwhelmed. And if you're feeling that way, well, you need to do kind of what I did. One chore at a time and it'll get done, right? Hi, Donna. Donna's here from North Carolina, and so is Marcia. Allison is here from Southwest Florida, and welcome to everyone. Um, Tonight, we are doing the design, last edge to edge design on with our starter set. And then we are going to move on to feathers. Now, I want to tell you something, guys. I am glad this is the last block, and I'll tell you why. If we take a look at this, what you're going to see is you've got the spinning wheel number 36, and look at the sizes on those babies. Truthfully, I couldn't do it. I just could not come up with a good way to make that design. Okay. So we're going to throw something else in there instead, and we're going to go forward from there. And I hope you like it. I really do. Chris is here from Washington State. Looking forward to learn a lot today. Well, I hope you're not disappointed, Chris. So nice to have you. Jean's here from Mount Vernon, Washington, and Lois from Delaware. Oh, wow. Jan O'Grady says it's 84 there today. We're happy we got 65 degrees. I mean, we're all running around without jackets on here. But anything over 50, we usually will. That is enough. Go lay down. Go lay down. That's enough. Okay. What we're going to be doing, let's take a look at it. It is going to be this block here. It's not going to look exactly like that block. But remember when I started this project, I said some of the blocks are not going to look the same. But I gotta tell you guys, I really, really was happy. I took a bunch of fabric, made blocks out of them, put one of the embroidered designs in each one, quilt as you go, and a scrappy binding and sashing on it. And I really, really like this. It is something that I can hang in my room and have ideas all the time to go by if I'm looking for an edge to edge design. So let's move forward on this guy, okay? Come over here. Now, the first thing I'm going to do, you can see I've got an 8-point crosshair up in this area, which is about where the bigger design falls. Now, this design is nowhere near the same size as our circles on quilts number 36, but we're going to use our circles on quilts number 36 anyway. Okay, it's just going to be a little bigger. It's not the end of the world, guys. It really isn't. So let me go ahead and pull it out here. Okay, If I don't keep everything exactly where it belongs, trust me, I will never find it. I've been looking for 2 hours for some wax canvas that I have no idea where I put it. Thank goodness my daughter said she was gonna help me. She was gonna come over and help me go through everything and do a major purge. I need it, trust me. Okay, so there we go, in from the right side, and then I'll come back and go in from the back side, making sure that I have come out right on that crosshair. And I did it the first time, so I'm really happy. So something's gone right today. Oh my gosh, guys, days like this, it seems like nothing goes right. Nothing does. Hey, Janice, my friend and neighbor. Oh gosh, I could have used you today. I should have just called you. Carla said they say the 70s plus all week, lows in the upper 40s. You are so fortunate, and I am so happy for you. We're going to get a high of 38 tomorrow. Ruth Ellen, hi from Northern Virginia. Um, but the last time she said 60, 70 degrees in Northern Virginia today, but the last time we were with you, Kathy, wasn't it snowing where you are? Yes, it was. And we were having an outright blizzard, Ruth Ellen. We had the whole UP was closed down for 2 days, and I'm talking everything. Stores were closed. Of course, the schools were closed. It was Ash Wednesday. All of the churches canceled their services. And it took a couple days to dig out, but you know what? With the weather today, we've lost all of that snow that we got. Other than north of us, they're well over 300 inches up there. And I think they said that they were now, there's a little city up there called Calumet, and most of you probably have never heard of it. Anyway, they don't shovel their sidewalks. What they do is they have steps coming out of their upstairs windows. And that's how they get in and out in the winter. And that's legit. That's not a story, guys. That's really how they do it. Anyway, I saw that this morning they were taking the second story egresses out. So that's a good sign the snow is going away. Hi, Judy's here from Greenleaf and Nan from Sweden. It's midnight. Yes, you need to go to sleep, Nan, but it's nice to see you. Thank you for stopping in. And Janelle's here from Australia. Oh, and it's rainy from Cyclone Alfred. And that was up north of you. Good. Cynthia's here, temps in the 60s in northeast Wisconsin today. Cynthia, you're in northeast Wisconsin. That's really interesting. Can I ask what city you're in? I'm in Iron Mountain, Michigan. Sharon Falls is in Colorado. And she is here to meet up with us. All righty. So what we're going to do is first thing we're going to do, no, go lay down. No, stop it. First thing we're going to do is try and get my dog to stop barking at me. But the second thing I'm going to do, oh my goodness, today has been a day. A day. Okay, there we go. Set our foot. Here is our spin circles on quilts spinning wheel number 36. Absolutely love this one. What we're going to do is we're going to pull our thread up here and we're going to start at A. And I do have white-ish thread in the bobbin so that we can see this from both sides. But we're going to have a real good contrast tonight because of so much of the blue here. Take that one stitch in place and off we're going to go. I'm going to keep the round stitches just a little shorter. Don't forget to take that extra stitch up at the top to keep that point real pointy. And what that does is it just helps us to make sure that we have a nice, strong point. Now, when we go ahead and rotate the template, it brings our foot right back to A. which is where we want to be. So we're going to line up our vertical center and keep those stitches just a little bit shorter. We're going to go up to the tip, one extra stitch. You can just hesitate. You don't have to stop your machine there and come down to B. But when we get to B, we are going to have to stop. Okay, I'm going to move this so that you can see me stitching towards me. Okay, and there we go. I want to make sure everybody's nice and easy to see here. Hi, Diane. Oh, she is Diane's from Florida, but she's on her way to Colorado to see her newest grandbaby. Oh, and then you're going to move to Wisconsin. Well, you'll be my neighbor. Awesome, awesome. And congratulations on that new grandbaby. Oh, they're the best. Here we go. Up to center. Take that stitch. Come around and stop when we get to B. And you're going to know when you get to B, there's a little kind of jog in the template there, and that is going to ensure that you're in the right spot. Nice. Yeah, I think this is a very easy template. I think it's versatile template. I do like it. There's a lot of different things we can do with it. You know, when we have templates, we don't have to always stitch them the way they were intended to be stitched. We can find different ways of doing that. And, you know, it's only limited by our imaginations. Isn't that beautiful? I think that's absolutely awesome. There we go. Make sure your needle is down as you're moving things around. I'm going to go ahead and cut this tail off here, or a part of the tail, I should say. Going to go ahead and move. When we're doing our circles on quilt spinning wheel 36, we want to make sure that our vertical lines, front and back, are lined up perfectly. And as long as they are, we're going to have a very successful rotation, and the motif, when it is finished, is going to be absolutely beautiful. Okay, there we go. One more and we will have this done. Ooh, kind of bobbled there for a second. Okay. Also dropped my scissors. Surprise. Okay. Now we've come here. I think what I did was I went too far when I dropped my scissors. Oh, no, I didn't. I think what's happening here, guys? I don't know. For some reason, my template doesn't want me to turn. There we go, though. It's going to work out just fine. I may have gotten something seized up when I went too far. There we go. Now that's perfect. And around we're going to go. One of the other things that's really, really nice about this is that it has these white etched lines in here. And these white etched lines, they are on both sides. Those white lines tell us exactly where the previous line of stitching should be. And as long as you're on those, you're doing fine. Okay, we're going to go ahead and close this up. There we go. Nice and slow. And now we can take it off. I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on this one because we all pretty much know how to use it since you do have the starter set. But isn't that a beautiful design? Absolutely love that design. Hi, Alice. Is joining us here from Colorado. Okay. Joyce is asking a question, and Joyce, this is a really, really good question. Do I practice Do you have to practice on quilt sandwiches, or can you just practice on one layer of fabric? Or would that be too difficult to move the fabric around? Joyce, if you do one layer of fabric, you will probably end up just squishing the fabric up and it won't get moved around adequately. So you want something underneath it. Now, I have heard a lot of people say you could just do it with your batting underneath. Yeah, you can. You really can. I prefer not to. And there is a batting called Birdie Bird that has flannel on it's attached to the back side of the batting. It's meant to be inside of a piece of fabric on top and on the bottom. It's really great for doing quilt sandwiches because you only need the quilt top and the batting, but it's really expensive, guys. It is very expensive. So I don't subscribe to that because I'd rather use my money for other things. Okay. Now, there is another thing you can do if you happen to have fat quarters that after you got them home, you looked at them and said, "What was I thinking?" I do put a lot of those on the backs of my practice sandwiches. Okay, because I know I'm not going to use them for anything else because I don't know if I don't drink, but I swear I was drunk when I bought them because they're so bad, but they're serving a good purpose. The other thing, when I first started out, I didn't have a fabric source like I do now, obviously, with the quilt shop. I'd go to a big box store, not the one that's closing down. It's the one that is still in business and probably always will be. And now they have cut fabric instead of bolts. And I'd go in there and buy clearance fabric, sale fabric, whatever was the cheapest, and use that for practicing my backgrounds. And even my tops. The one thing that I do, want you to do when you're practicing is try to keep your top fabric without too much of a print and use a very high contrast thread with it because that's going to show you all the wonderful things you're doing correctly. And it's also going to show you where you may have opportunities to improve. So that's the way I do it. Now, you also can, Danelle does this, and I think it's just genius. She takes another piece of fabric and puts it right down over the one she just filled up. So you don't have to worry about having batting and backing on every quilt square of practice. I hope that helps, Joyce. Um, yeah, it's kind of an answer, non-answer kind of thing, but you get the idea, right? Cynthia's going to move to Shawano, Wisconsin. That's not too far from us. And Lisa's here from Sugarland. Hi, Kelly's here from Arizona too. And Jackie made it from Paola, Kansas. Paola, what a cool name. I love it. Oh, definitely love it. Alice, if I didn't say hello to you, I'm sorry. And hi, welcome. I'm glad to see you here. Wendy is here from Sydney, Australia. And oh, Janice, what a great idea. I love it. Where did you go, Janice? There you are. Old sheets and pillowcases for fabric. And you can go to your local thrift store and get old sheets, and they're really cheap. So thank you, Janice, for sharing that with us. Okay, now Debbie says try using water soluble thread in the bobbin and then wash in a lingerie net and let them air dry. And then you can use them over again. That's such good information. See why I like these you guys so much. I love this group. We share and everybody is happy. Okay, can I watch this later as Janelle asked, "Can I watch it later as it's 10:20 AM there?" And she has to get back to work. Janelle, yes, you can. This will be available on the 906 Quilting YouTube site as well as the Sew Steady YouTube site. It will be available, I believe, on both Facebook pages also. But I'm warning everybody now. I don't know if I shared this with you all or not. Facebook is going to take videos down at 30 days from this point forward. So if you want to see something that's older than 30 days, you'll need to go to either one of the YouTube sites. Okay. And I'm really excited. I'm 3 people away from hitting 700 subscribers on YouTube. So I'm just counting off those little milestones one at a time. Barbara, hi. Well, Lee, hi. I didn't see you come in. Barbara's here from Ontario. Rita's here from Australia, where it is morning and times seem to have changed a bit. Yes, Rita, we all had to spring ahead an hour. And other than Deb, who is in Arizona, they don't do that nonsense. Lucky for her, right? Okay, and Janelle, you are welcome. Marianne's here from Maine. Welcome. Okay, let's get back to what we were doing here, guys, and let's get to the second one. And what I'm going to do here is I got a little piece of paper, and that's going to show you what I did. Okay, this is what I wanted to replicate. I've got to tell you, it was not possible. All right. Maybe if I spent another couple days on it, um, but finding a curve, and now just remember, this is just with the sampler set I'm doing. I'm not allowing myself to take any other templates out of my template stash and use them. And that's why this was so hard to shrink down, is because the 1.5 inch clamshells didn't help on there. It was kind of tough. It was I was frustrated. I'm going to tell you straight out. I was frustrated and decided we would just do something different. After all, I did let you all know that we wouldn't be doing them exactly this every design exactly the same. So here's what I came up with. Looks complicated, doesn't it? Reminds me of Leonardo da Vinci's drawing of the man. So what I've done to make it a little easier here, I went ahead and did an 8-point rotation. So I have 8 reference lines here. And then what I did was I put a square in the center. And let's measure that square. It is, well, it's supposed to be 1.5 inches. Yeah, it's 1.5 inches. This one is off just by a hair. So I have a 1.5 inch square straight on. That's this guy right here. Then I have a 1.5 inch square on point. Okay, here, there we go. There to here. Now, these are 1.5 inches also. So then what I did was I came out and I made marks at 1.5 inches on each reference line. And I'm going to do that one in purple or pink or whatever this color is. Okay. And I made them at 1.5 inches. I should have done half of them before we started, guys. Okay. Now, the nice thing about this is it's easy to shrink and it is easy to make larger because what you're gonna do is I made a 1.5 inch square and I'm coming out at 1.5 inches from the center. So if you do a 1 inch square, you'll come out 1 inch from the center. Those numbers are always going to be the same. If you do a 1 or a 3/4 inch square, you're going to come out 3/4 of an inch from the center. So that is the nice part about this. It's a real easy formula to remember. We'll draw one up here a little later as we get going. So there are my numbers, okay? There's my 1.5 on each one. This design is going to be made with 2 passes, and we do need to break thread on it, okay? All right. So can I review? Oh, hi. Hi, Julie. Um, Hang on. We got another. Oh, Carla, that's such good idea. Make practice squares into quilts for dog shelters. Dogs and cats don't mind what they look like. Carla, you're absolutely right. They don't. Absolutely. Hi, Julie. Julie's here from Alabama. Yeah. So let's just cover this one more time. 8 reference lines. I've got a 1.5 inch square on point and a 1.5 inch square sitting straight up. And I have made a mark on each of those reference lines 1.5 inches out from the center. So if you want a smaller square or a smaller star, what you can do is make a 1 inch square, a 1 inch square, and then come out 1 inch and make your mark. And it's going to give you the exact same design. It's just going to make it smaller. Okay. So now let's get stitching. And what we're going to do is we're going to stitch these 4 star points on the first pass and come back and stitch the 4 star points on the second pass. And this is why we're making all of these squares in the center, because when we stitch, we're going to stitch from here to here. And then we're going to come back out to here and to here. So we're stitching every other one. Now let me show you what I mean by that, okay? All right, I'm going to start right at the very top here. I'm going to pull my bobbin thread up. Oh, guess what I did not do, guys? I didn't cut. I did not cut my bobbin thread. I am so good at that. Not cutting it, I mean. Okay, here we go. All righty. So there is my bobbin thread. I'm going to go ahead and put my needle down. And remember, we are going to come to the next reference line and stop where it intersects with the square we drew in. So here we go. I've got my spacing gauge right here. Wrong way, Corrigan. Deb is smiling. All right, 1 stitch in place. Take your time. Enjoy the journey. And we're going to stop with our needle down. I'm going to go ahead and take that thread off. Now I'm going to come back up I'm going to skip number 2. This first round, we're going to stitch all on the odd numbered reference lines. Okay? Odd numbered. We just started on number 1. This is reference line number 3. And we're going to stitch out to that. There we go. Now we're gonna come down. Whoops. I don't know if you guys heard that or not. I just dropped a template. You know, the last couple weeks, I really have the dropsies a lot worse than I used to. Okay, now we landed on even number. We're going to bring our star point up on the odd number. You could do this with 16 reference points, but I think it would be confusing and just a lot more difficult. So I would stick with 8. I like the way it looks too. It turned out nice, I thought. Now, if you're a really awesome free motion stitcher, you could always come in and free motion some ovals where they meet. I'm going to show you what I mean by that. Yes. Moving around is so important for you to see what I'm doing here. Okay, and now we're back to number 1. Now the question is, would I really break thread here or would I travel? My answer is I would really break thread here. Okay. I really think that's important. So here is our first rotation. Looks good, right? Now we're going to do it on the other side. As soon as I get a drink, I had like 3 potato chips for supper and it was just driving. I'm so thirsty. I'm not used to eating the salty foods like that anymore. Okay. Now I'm coming up on number 1 again, but I'm coming up where the square and the reference line meet. This time, all of our points are going to be on the even numbered reference lines. So here we go. First stitch in place. You know, I used to stitch with little bigger stitches, and nowadays I stitch with smaller stitches because I want to make sure that my stitches look nice and smooth when I'm going around curves and stuff, right? I've gotten accustomed to making small stitches on everything, and I really love the way they look. And considering how many years I've been doing this, that is a real testament to how good small stitches look. Okay, we're going to come up on the even numbered reference line. This is the even numbered reference line 4. We met in the circle on 3, right there. We met in the square, I'm sorry, on 3. Now we're going to meet in the square on 5. Right there. And now we're going to come up. After I got this done, I thought, I really like it. I think it's a cool star. My iron is plugged in, so I can actually take all these lines out and show you guys how awesome it looks without all the lines in there. Okay, only have one more star point to do here. I love ruler work. It just relaxes me. It just relaxes me. I enjoy it so much. So now what we've done is we've gotten our 8 points in, which is just like what we did with our first star, this being smaller. Okay, I'm gonna go and tilt my iron so that I can take those lights, those, I'm sorry, those lines out and show you how awesome that looks. Now, you can, if you want, take maybe your 4-inch arc and put a small bobble in here with it. Um, I think it would be difficult, but it could be done. It could be. You place your 4-inch arc like this, you come down to center, and then you turn it around like this and come back. So let's go ahead and try that. I want to make a mark how far I want to go. Okay, that's a 1/4 inch. 1/2 inch is too big. 1/4 inch is kind of small. Okay, let's go 3/8 of an inch. And we'll go 3/8 of an inch here. I won't do this all the way around, but we'll do some of them and see if we can't make it work, okay? Okay, so this is going to come from here to here. I gotta remember, you guys are up here, not down here. Okay. All right. Put those over there. I'm going to start at the bottom and pull my thread up. Okay. In ornery. There we go. Okay, gonna put this down. Now, I don't know if it's gonna give us enough. Halfway and then come back in. It'll work, but it's really not gonna look that awesome, guys. Okay, so now I'm gonna hold it out, go 2 stitches. There we go. Hold it back in and meet up. There we go. Just drop my scissors. All right. So let's go and take all these lines off. See what I mean? The little bubble, we certainly could do that all the way around. It would just take a little time. And it does. I'm sorry, but mine doesn't look all that round. It looked better with the lines on it. Okay, so there we go. So that's another way that we can do a design that's somewhat similar, but it's not the same. And the one up on the top left here is so small that there just was no way I could make it work. And I tried. Okay. Yes. Joyce, yes, I will. Okay, Debbie was smiling. She said yes. Oh, Diana's here from Bermuda. Hello, Diana. Nice to have you. Okay, Carol 65 is here. Um, she says she only does embroidery, and will I be showing that? What this is designed for our Monday evenings, Carol, is to take our edge-to-edge embroidery and try to duplicate it with templates, which until tonight was really easy to do, and we really were able to almost copy the designs exactly the way they should have been. What threw me tonight was this little guy and trying to get him in here, and that was hard to do. I'm gonna keep trying though. So I not on this not on Monday nights. We won't be showing that. But you may want to go ahead and check the events tab in Wesley by me, and they're going to have everything listed there, and they will be doing embroidery on I'm not really sure which days, but they do it, Carol. I'm so glad you stopped by though. Dale is here from Scottsdale. Hi, Dale. Dale from Scottsdale. Oh, Joyce, well, I mean, yeah, I know I had that fabric down too much. I gotta keep reminding myself to pull that up so you got a good look at it. And Lee said that's not bad at all. No, it's not. I like this. I don't like this as much, but if I made this bigger, it would probably be better. So, like I said, I'm going to continue working on that. So that was our hard part tonight, guys. Okay. I just wanted to get that over with, definitely. So let's go ahead and take a look. Now, we haven't had these fellows here since the beginning of doing our Monday nights, have we? Oh, Carol, you're quite welcome, darling. If you need anything, please don't hesitate to get in touch with one of us. Oh, there we go. Janice said embroidery is the fourth Thursday of every month. And Carol, if you want something more than that, go ahead and send an email in, and Stacy's always trying very hard to accommodate everyone's wishes. So definitely, definitely. Okay, so back to these guys. I don't know if you remember how we did these guys. I didn't. I have to go back and look at my notes, but these guys are fun to do and they're easy to do if you remember. So what we're going to need for them is we are going to need our 12-inch arc. We're going to need our 4-inch arc, which just happens to be out because it happens to be my favorite. I gotta figure this out. I will figure it out soon. And then what we have to do is in order to, I just had an avalanche, guys. Okay. I'm working on a new project for y'all for our next reveal. And so I got stuff everywhere. And no, I can't show you. I'm sorry. I just figured I'd get that out of the way before somebody asked. Okay, so this is the one I love doing these. I absolutely love doing them. And they're easy to figure out. They're so easy to measure out and say, okay, we go this many inches here, we go that many inches there. And oh, goodness gracious, there's my ruler. I knew I had taken it out. So the first one, what we're doing is we're going 2.5 inches high. And we are going to put our fattest part at 1.25 inches high. This is our fattest part right here. I'm going to get my big old fat finger on there so you can see. And what that's going to do is we're going to look at it and say that it's 1/2 inch to the left, 1/2 inch to the right. So this space right here needs to be 1 inch. Then we're going to come up a little bit and we're going to make these little petals here, which come out 3/4 of an inch. Now, whatever measurement this is from here to here, this measurement from here to here will be the same. So if this comes out 3/4 of an inch, it's going to come down 3/4 of an inch. This is going to come out 3/4 of an inch, and it's going to come down 3/4 of an inch. And if you remember, we used our 4-inch arc to come down here. Let me get my paper. We used our 12-inch arc. No, we did. We made this straight, and then we used our 4-inch arc to go here, here, and to make those little petals. And then we use the 4-inch arc to have a nice soft curve to the outside of each of these petals. The big thing to remember is each of these from here to here, from the center to the outside of those exterior petals, are independent of each other. What you don't want is you don't want to have your 12-inch arc. This is what I mean. You have to get this one in and then rearrange it and get this one in. Don't try and get the whole thing on here. There are some measurements where that will work, and if it does, that's awesome, but it won't work on every one. So think of these as 2 separate measurements. That will help, okay? Hi, Eileen, or Ellen. I'm sorry, I can't see. Ellen's here from Delaware. So happy you've joined us. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's make this other design. And this is a good review for us. And I've already set everything up as far as measurements are concerned, okay? Um, what you can do, what I think is a good idea too, I really do, is remember this was 2.5 inches from the top to the bottom. So go ahead and get that out. There's my 1/2 inch, 1, 2.5. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to draw a straight line. You don't need to. After you do it a couple of times, you're definitely not going to need to. So here is our height. Then I measured a 1/2 inch here, a 1/2 inch here, right? Was that what that measurement was? I want to be sure. 3/4 of an inch. Okay. 1/2 of an inch here, 1/2 of it. Let me do this again, guys, because I forgot to move the camera back. Okay. Thank you, Lee. I should give one of you my phone so you can call me and say, hey, Ditzo, move that camera back. Okay. I'm going to go over this all over again, the whole thing, okay? I'm going to move it back and get it down here and front and center. Here is the top of my design, which is 2.5 inches from top to bottom. And then it is 1.25 inches to the fattest part, to this part right here. It's 1.25 inches. And then 1.25 inches to the bottom, which is this part. Now we're going to come out 3/4 of an inch and 3/4 of an inch from the outside edge. Then we're going to come down 3/4 of an inch and down 3/4 of an inch. And that's where I've got these dots placed. That's all you have to mark. Okay? We're gonna set this over here. Now I'm going to move the camera because we're going to stitch it. All right. I need a cameraman. All righty. The top is going to be a straight line, and that's where I'm going to start. Well, actually, yes, I'm going to start at the top because there is a way to do this without breaking thread, and I think I remember how. So here we go. Start at the top. I'm going to come to this point here. All right, take my one stitch in place. And I'm snow plowing. So I'm just going to lift my fabric up with my stiletto. I'm just going to put it back in place and hold it down. And there we go. No need to readjust the foot. So that's always a good thing when we don't have to readjust the foot. Okay, now we're going to stop and turn it. We're going to go right there. And we're going to come out to that dot. And now we're going to come down to this dot. Something wrong? Something wrong? And now we're going to come down here. And we're going to stop. Now we're going to get our 4-inch arc and we're going to come here to this point. Remember, we're only going to come halfway to that point. Now what we're going to do is we're going to come up and back down using our 4-inch arc. And where we're going to come up and down to is we are going to stop at this area here. So we're going to come up to that area using our spacing gauge. There we go. From the center. Now we're going to flip that spacing gauge and come back to the bottom. Flip our template. I'm going to make sure that the staple tape is on the side closest to the fabric. And down we're going to go. Now I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. I've got my mark here, so it's going to be very easy to do. And you can see I've come into some heavy seam allowance here. So I'm just going to go ahead and loosen my foot. Nice and slow. Once that foot is loose, keep yourself going nice and slow. I'm going to turn that and come back down. I'm going to go ahead and lower that foot just a hair because I'm coming off of that high point to the low point. And that's just easier to do. Again, I'm going to go nice and slow though. And stop again at that center. We're going to come back to this point here. And stop. There we go. I almost missed it. And now I'm going to come back, whoops, up this way. Oh, guys, I was looking at the wrong one. Okay, no worry. I'm gonna just come back later and pick that out because where I want to be, and I think, yeah, okay. So right here is where I want to be. I was right the first time. Boy, now again, we're coming up on a real heavy seam. But this time it didn't give me any grief. Isn't that something? You just never know, do you? And we're going to come back in. Now it's going to give me grief. Okay, so I loosened my foot. We're going to go nice and slow. There we go. And back up to the top. And now we've got that motif done. There we go. So now all we have to do is connect these guys. There we go. And this is the one I got off on. Okay, so they are looking good. So let's go ahead and make some design element decisions. Do we want to use our 12-inch arc to come between these guys? Or are we going to have a little bit of fun with these, with our edge to edge guys here? So if we come here, by golly, I think that's going to work beautiful. Let's come off of the tip of this motif here. We're going to go ahead and there, put that down. So now this, remember, is our edge to edge connector 2. And we are going to be using this one. It is the letter, well, it doesn't have a letter on it. Oh, yes, it does, A. This is our stitch and flip. Stitch, flip, and rotate. Okay, so here we go. We're going to stitch. Well, it's kind of tight in there tonight. We're going to stop there. Now we're going to take it out. We're going to flip it. And that's flipping it just like that. Okay, now we're going to rotate it. And that's what makes the magic, is when we do that rotation. There we go. You'd have to rotate just a little more. Oh, guys, I love it when a plan comes together. And there we go. We have gone ahead and we have successfully connected them. Okay, and let's go ahead and connect these two as well. And how can we do that? I'm kind of liking using this one right here. I know this is the outside, but it works just as well. And I think we'll come off of this point right here. Or better yet, let's come off of the center. Because it's fun to do it that way sometimes too. There we go. So I'm going to come down and back up here. Stop with my foot down. I wanna turn things because now what I'm gonna do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to turn this, and I'm going to stitch more. Okay, and, that's too short. That's not gonna be right. Maybe this one. Let's try this one. I think this one will work better. Oh, there we go. We're gonna keep going, and what you're gonna notice is we can move these, and we're getting bigger and bigger lines, and you can't even tell that we've had to move them. You see how nicely they flow together? The way they were designed just makes it look like it was all one template, doesn't it? So much fun, guys, so much fun. So, this is what I've got for you tonight. I hope oh, hi, Monica's here. Okay, let's see where we're at. Carla said, "Hi, Ken." Okay, Diane, you are so welcome. You are quite welcome. She said, "Thanks, Kathy, and it's so cool to have so many places represented sharing our craft." That excites me. That really does excite me, Diane. We've got people all over the world coming in here, and that is just so I like it. I love it. I think it's so fun. And you guys give me as much energy and ideas as I give you. So don't ever sell yourselves short, okay? Don't forget, like, subscribe, and share. Tomorrow evening, I'm going to be here with the Artisan Curves squares, which I thought were going to be boring till I got to working with them. I don't think they're going to be boring at all. I'm looking forward to that. And then on Wednesday morning, we are going to do snowflakes, and we're going to hope that we're not going to see snowflakes in the air anymore this year. So or anymore this season. So I appreciate y'all being here. Thank you for coming in. And don't forget, like, subscribe, and share. And we will see you tomorrow evening. Until then, let's quilt.